What's up, Facebook Love? What's up, YouTube Love? And everybody all around the world. It's Silas Kingdom Net, Kingdom Fourth here on my page. And I know you used to see me do a video today, but today I have a special guest. And that guest is my mentor, my dad, my coach right here. But today, guys, we're going to be talking about, my dad is going to be talking about sharing his system. It's called, the 7 ways to evaluate a network marketing opportunity, guys. And you're going to have a chance to hear from a powerful, young man right here. My dad, how you doing, Miss Tracy Nichols? But he's gonna break this down. Now, this is really powerful, and I think this is gonna be great information, especially for our younger and older entrepreneurs. How you doing? But guys, this is my dad right here, and him and my mom, he's married. Him and my mom have been married for 32 years, and he's been in the industry. I'm gonna let you tell your story, Dad. But he's been in the industry of network marketing and direct sales for 21 years. Actually, 22 is 2017. 22 years and 19 years full time. And guys, I'm 21 years old. I'm the youngest out of my three. I have 3 older sisters, but I've been able to, every day, I've been able to see my parents, to be able to hang out with my parents while they make money. And guys, I think network marketing is a great opportunity, guys. And I think that you just got to find the right people to follow so you can succeed quicker, easier, and faster. But it's all whoever you're being mentored by. But Dad, you can tell them a little bit about yourself and your background.
Absolutely, absolutely. First of all, I want to say that I'm humbly grateful to have a son with such integrity and character, and also a son that cares a lot about other people. And he's one that is mastering this new age marketing, which is online marketing. And, he's been working on me for the last 2-3 years to get me to get online and to do the things that are more up to date. And so we're going to merge what I call, a heavy ground attack, which is traditional network marketing, with a heavy air attack, which is online marketing. And in 2017 and beyond, guys, you're going to see some great things with my son and I. But today, we're going to talk a little bit about how to evaluate an opportunity and whether or not you should even, get involved. Before we do that, just a little bit about my background. As Silas said, I've been with my beautiful wife for 32 years, and, I met her when she was 19, I was 24, and
Hey, Mom.
as a matter of fact, she's just joined us. Hey, Sherlyn. Hey, Steve Dansby. How you doing, young man? And met my wife, and, when I first met her, I didn't want her to work, so I took on 2 full-time jobs, and I have 2 degrees, one in business, one in marketing, and I saw my wife take care of our first 3 children, which were girls, Ladrina, Rakita, and Demonye. And 21 years ago, she got pregnant with my son, and I had a friend of mine come to me and say, hey, man, I know that you love being with your family, and right now working 2 full-time jobs, you're not spending that much time with your family. You need to take a look at network marketing. Well, you got to understand, 21 years ago, my mindset was that my job was going to save me, because I heard all my life, go to school, get a job, get a great education, get a job, but whatever you do, get a job, that's all I heard. So I was not interested in network marketing. I thought it was a scam. I thought it was a pyramid. I thought it was for people who couldn't get a job. And, we perish for lack of knowledge. And so I didn't really understand. But he said something to me that made me pursue it. He said, what if you could replace one of those jobs, okay, and spend more time at home with your son? So my wife was pregnant with my son, and my mom and dad, they divorced when I was 2 years old. And, and I grew up without a dad. And I vowed when I was 9 years old that if I had a son, I wanted to spend time with him, teaching him football, teaching him basketball, teaching him how to work on cars, all the father and son things, teaching him about Christ. And, here it was. I was working 85 to 95 hours a week, had been doing that for, over 12 years, and I was getting ready to repeat that cycle and teach my children the same thing. And so I made a decision to take a look at network marketing. Got involved, failed miserably, for almost 4 years.
Wow.
And the key thing was I finally got a mentor, and that mentor began to teach me, some things that helped me not only to evaluate whether I should get involved in a company, but to help me begin to build a business. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I'll turn it back to my son for a second before we get started. But the key thing I want everybody to understand is whatever you choose to do in anything, you got to make a commitment. Okay, you got to make a commitment. You can't try it because if you're going to try it, you've already set yourself up to fail. You got to commit to it, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But back to you, son.
Okay, guys, I want you guys, look, leaders, take notes. The information my dad is about to give you has changed millions of people's lives all around the world, guys. He gives this information. He really has a heart and integrity for people. He's giving this information out for free that people pay people for. But he's giving it out for free, and he does it all the time because he loves people and he has a heart of integrity. That's why the name of his team is called Team Faith Walk. You can see his website above, and it's in the link. But guys, he really cares about you. This is what I want you to do, guys. Leaders, take notes. Leaders take notes. They study their notes. This is what I learned from him. They implement their notes. That means they go and do it, and then they teach their notes. And he has proven to do what he's telling you, guys. He's made, multiple 6 figures, 7 figures over his career, him and my mom. But it's more than the money. The money will come if you seek first the kingdom and his righteousness. And all these things will be added unto you. This is what I learned from my dad and my parents. They giving me this knowledge. And God is our source. But I'm going to give it back to my dad. And he's going to talk about the 7 steps to evaluating a network marketing company. This is vital, guys. This is vital to you, to you getting into any opportunity. These steps. So you take it over, Dad.
Absolutely. Hey, Travis Woods, how are you? Natasha Lewis, welcome. And so this information I'm going to give you guys, it was taught to me by a proven network marketer who at the time was earning well over 7 figures. And, this is information that there's so many opportunities out there. There's so many businesses out there. Hey, Ruthie Parker, how are you, young lady? There's so many businesses out there that, you see people jumping from business to business to business to business. And the reason is people get involved in these opportunities for a couple of reasons. One reason is they want to make money. People realize that their jobs are not the answer. And I'm not knocking jobs. Remember, I used to have 2 of them, but they serve a purpose. Excuse me. And that purpose is to make enough money to pay your bills. And God did not create us just to survive, all right? He created us to thrive. He created us to, go beyond our bills. And so, a lot of times people make the wrong decisions in getting involved in a business. I had another mentor tell me, there's no right or wrong decision. Just make a decision and then go make it right. I understand that, all right? But it also wisdom in, getting involved in these companies. And so, a lot of people may use different criteria, but there are a lot of major networkers that use these 7 criteria that I'm going to give you, and I'm going to give you the reason behind them. So to start off, number 1, and let me say this too before I even share this, so many people get involved in businesses for emotional reasons, all right? Because, I had someone tell me, I'm going to join this company because, I feel something. I feel real good about it. Nothing wrong with your emotions, okay? But, think about it. If wealthy people like Mark Zuckerberg or, any wealthy person were going to invest some money into a company, they would have a criteria for evaluating, and it would have nothing to do with how they felt, okay? And so make sure you have some type of criteria. I have other people tell me, well, I got to look at the pay plan first. I got to make sure the pay plan is something that can make me a lot of money before I get involved. Well, I'm gonna bust that bubble, because yes, you do want a pay plan that can pay you, but a lot of pay plans out there have what's called pie in the sky, all right, money. It's money that you'll never make anyway. It's just out there dangling, convincing you that this is something you should join. All right, so let's talk about the 7 ways to evaluate. Start with number 1. Number 1 is the corporate leadership of the company, the CEO and the corporate leadership of the company. John Maxwell said it best: everything rises and falls with leadership. All right, so you should look at the track record of the person that is running the company. All right, if that person's track record may be that he's bankrupt two companies, or that person's track record is he started up two or three or four companies and they never lasted past 18 months. All right, or it may be someone brand new to network marketing, becoming a CEO. Guys, I want you to understand something. Chances are that history always repeats itself. All right, so you want to be very careful when you get involved with a company and don't even look at the corporate leadership. I have people tell me all the time. They tell me about a company and man, you should see all the networkers joining, and man, you should see how great this company is. And I say, okay, well, who is the owner of the company? Who is the CEO? Oh, well, I don't know. Or they'll say, well, they've got a lot of financial backing. That's great. But who is calling the shots? Because, guys, it could be the greatest opportunity in the world, right? Greatest opportunity in the world. But if you have the wrong person sitting in that seat calling the shots for you and your family, then it could be disastrous. I've had a couple of friends that I've shared with that have approached me in the last couple of years about companies, and I knew about their CEOs. And, this is not, we never tear any companies down on, to build companies up. So I'm not going to mention the company's names. But I told them right from the beginning, everything looked great, but the person running your business, this is his track record. Have you looked at it? And, yep, they said they never looked at it, but they still felt great about it. And then 9 months later, a year and a half, they're gone from the company. And the reason, when I asked them why were they gone, they said because of the CEO. All right, so remember, the number one way to evaluate is the corporate CEO. Now, there are some times where, let's say the corporate CEO, you're not sure about his track record. But then you look at the field leadership. Well, if the field leadership is still real strong, okay, that's great. But again, the corporate leadership is going to have the final say. So be very, very careful with that. That's the number one way to evaluate. All right?
Take notes.
Yep. The second way to evaluate a company is the product or the service. All right? Now, if you go back 20, 30, 40 years and you look at the top 25 companies, most of them, okay, well over 20%, well over, if you look at the top 25, well over 20 plus of them will be product-driven companies. Now, why is that? Well, products are consumable. So when people take them, okay, they make them feel a certain way, in a healthy way, or make them feel a way emotionally, then people are going to continue to take it. But once they take it and they've taken all of it, they got to buy more of it. All right, so it creates a natural residual income. Mm-hmm. All right, services. There are some services companies that have done well, but most of all, it's been product-driven companies. So I'm going to talk about number two. Looking at whether it's a product or a service, because here's why: if there's no product or no service involved, okay, no product, no service involved, then it's a pyramid scheme. You have to have a product or a service being sold for it to be a real business, okay? And you want to look at three things. Number one, about the product, is it affordable to the masses? Sometimes people come out with great products, but they're priced way too high. I've seen products that have come out, juice products, that are $50, $60, $70 a bottle. I've seen other products come out that are, $100, $150. All right, you got to understand this. In direct sales and network marketing, there's three categories of people. You've got your 80%ers, all right? And they make up 80% of your group. They make up 80% of the company. These are people who are going to do little or nothing. These are people who are going to make $0 to $500. But it's more of them than any other group, okay? So you got your 80%ers. Then you have your 15%ers. These are people who are going to make anywhere from $500 to $5,000 a month. And they never will go full time, and it's a lot of reasons. Some of the reasons are, because they don't want to give up their full-time job. They may have a good full-time job that's creating great income. Some of them have benefits maybe at their company. Some of them may just be too scared to go full blast, full-time in network marketing, and that's okay. But that's your 15%ers. They make up 15% of your group and company. Then you have your 5%ers who have a full-time mentality. They go full-time at it, okay? Some of them, most of them, will make six figures or more. They have to make a living from it, okay? Now, why do I tell you about these categories of people? It's very simple. the 80 percenters that's going to do zero to, a little bit to nothing, okay? It's got to be affordable to them because their mindsets, have not developed to the point that they believe enough, in themselves or believe enough in your company. So they're looking at how much money I got to spend on a monthly basis. All right. So number one, under product, it's got to be affordable to the masses. Number two, under product, it's got to be something unique about it. All right. It's something that separates it from the masses. All right. It's got to be something unique about that product. And then number three, under product is this. People have got to be able to make some money whether they recruit or not. If they could sell the product and make money, all right, then that's the third thing. You want to be able to have a product that people can sell. Now, understand this, that 80 percenters, the way to keep them in the game until you teach them, until you help them develop themselves into becoming a 15 percenter, okay, is you've got to get them paid. And it could be, $50 a week coming in, $200 a week coming in, $500 a week coming in. But if you can get money coming in every week, every month for them, okay, then they will believe that they can do, get better and become a 15 percenter. And they'll stay plugged in enough. But if they're not getting paid, guys, every month that they don't get paid, it gets frustrating. It gets to the point where, they're ready to quit. They're ready to give in. Son, I know, you experienced some of that in the beginning, of network marketing. And, I wanted you to experience that feeling so that you could have, the compassion for what's going on in your group. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that feeling before we go on to the third way to evaluate.
That was the third or fourth?
That was actually the second. The first way is the CEO and their track record. The second way is a product. And there's three things on the product, okay? Is it affordable to the masses? Okay, is there something unique about the product? And also, can people make money selling the product, just retailing the product? All right, so talk a little bit about the frustration that happens if you don't, you get involved and you don't make money,
Yeah, so when I was, my first network marketing company when I was 18 years old, I'm 21 now, but I remember my dad putting me in because I always wanted to do the network marketing because I was around him and other highly successful people just all day. That's all I was around. And I just remember my parents giving me personal development. And if it wasn't for the personal development, I think I would have quit. I would have gave up on it. But it was because I kept growing myself every day through those frustrations, through people telling me no. It helped me grow. It's like the pain. I always talk about, how pain is actually helping you gain. It's just like when you're working out at the gym, when it starts to hurt, count those because that's the ones that's helping you grow. And that's what I learned from being around, successful people like my dad, my mom, and other entrepreneurs on our team. And I learned that you just got to keep going even when when you get the no's because it's frustrating at the beginning. It's going to take, but remember, anything worthwhile, it's going to take time. It's a Bible verse and it says wealth from hard work grows over time. And that's what I learned, that if you want true wealth, it's going to take hard work and it's going to grow over time. But you got to keep building it and you got to stay consistent and persistent. So that's what I learned. And yes, it was frustrating, but I've learned to overcome that. And sometimes, I still get frustrated, to be honest, I'm a human. But I've learned how to manage that and turn that frustration into passion and to use that passion to light the fire and keep going in my business. So take it back, Dad.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's some skills in network marketing. That's another training we'll do. And we'll talk about the skills and how you develop them. And in simplicity, the simple way is you gotta do them. You gotta keep doing them over and over again until they become a habit. And me and my son, we're gonna make sure we're always honest in our trainings and teachings. And when you have a parent as well as your mentor and teacher, that gets a little tough too, because my son is brought up in a different era than I am, and so sometimes he wants to do things in a different way, and that's okay. All right, so let's get back on track here. Let's talk about the third way to evaluate a network marketing company and whether or not you should join. So the third way is whether or not the company's products are a fad or a trend. Okay, a fad or a trend. Because fads make you a lot of money for a short period of time. You see some of these companies start up and people get involved and they may be there for 9 months, 12 months, a year, and they're making a lot of money, and then all of a sudden they're gone. Why? because the product was a fad or the concept was a fad. All right, versus a trend. A trend makes you a lot of money for a lifetime. It makes you residual income. So let me give you some examples, of a fad. Many of you, may have heard of the hula hoop. Some of the younger generation, you may not have heard of the hula hoop. All right, but when the hula hoop first came out, all right, it was big time. It made a lot of money for the owners. Everybody was hula hooping. Movie stars were hula hooping. Lassie and Mr. Ed was even hula hooping, right? Everybody was hula hooping, but you don't see people hula hooping today. You don't see people, saying on Christmas, I want to get a hula hoop, right? So hula hoop was a fad. It doesn't make the kind of money residually that, you want as a business. So let's talk about what a trend is. The cell phone is a trend. I remember when the cell phone was first invented, it was a red box. It was called the brick. You could only use it if it was plugged into your car in the lighter, where the lighter goes, right? And that's the only way you could use it. But now look what the cell phone has evolved to. The cell phone has evolved to something that could fit in the palm of your hand. But not only can you use it as a phone, you can use it as a video. I mean, we're doing a video on a cell phone right now. Yeah. You can be on it live. You could use it to take pictures. You can do all kind of things. And the inventors of the cell phone are continually making residual income because people will not let their cell phone, if they don't pay their bill and the phone go off, guess what they do? They're going to find a way to get that phone back on. All right? So you want to make sure your business is a trend and not a fad. All right? Trends pay you for a lifetime. They pay you residually, month after month, year after year, whereas fads pay you for a short period of time. All right? So that's the third way you evaluate. The fourth way you evaluate is the timing at which you get involved. Now, I want to talk about this because make no mistake, people can make money if they join a business even, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, if they have a group that's following them. Yeah. Okay? But if you're someone who has not made major money, if you're someone who's still trying to find your way in the industry, if you're someone that's trying to learn how to build a team, learn how to, personally develop yourself for people to follow you, then there's a timing you should get involved. Now, there's a book called Wave 3, The New Era in Network Marketing. And in that book, it's a book written by Richard Poe, okay? It's a book written by Richard Poe. In that book, on page 69, it talks about some of the, it talks about the different, actually, let me bring it to it on page 69. It talks about the different, hold on a minute. Actually, I'm sorry, it's not Wave 3. Hold on a minute, I'm going to pull the book up.
Well, guys, be taking notes, guys. This is real valuable information.
So it is Wave 3, but it's the new era in network marketing. The new era, Richard Poe. As you can see, I've used this book quite a bit, okay? Wave 3, but the new era in network markets by Richard Poe. I've got a lot of Richard Poe books. But in this book on page 69, all right, it talks about, the ways, the different growth strategies, if you will, of a network marketing company, okay? And it talks about 4, all right? But there's actually 6. There's 6 different areas of a network marketing company. The first is formulation, all right? So formulation, this is when a company first gets started. I've been contacted by several people about a new company that's right now in pre-launch. They're in formulation right now. New company that's going to launch here pretty soon, right? But formulation, all right? Now, listen, 92% of the companies never make it out of formulation. Formulation can last anywhere from 0 years, that's pre-launch, right, to 2 or 3 years. It could last that long, okay? Formulation. Then you have concentration, all right? Concentration, that's the second part of, the timing at which to join. You have concentration. Now, this is when companies concentrate on, making DVDs and concentrate on PowerPoints. And you'll start to see them, they concentrate on marketing. They may start to appear in magazines, network marketing magazines. They'll start rebranding themselves, all right, because they feel like they've found their niche, if you will, concentration. And this usually happens, the 3rd year, the 4th year that they're launching their business. Then you have momentum. Mm-hmm. Now, let me say this. Momentum only occurs one time in a business for you. Let me say that again. Momentum only occurs one time in a business for you. For the company, it can occur multiple times as they relaunch and open new countries. So every time they open in a new country, they go through this again. Formulation, concentration, momentum. Now, momentum is signified for a company when that particular company is doing $50 million a month in sales. Let me say that again. Momentum is signified when a company is doing $50 million a month in sales or more. All right. Now, then you have, after momentum, you have stability. Stability, a company usually is about 10 years old. They've gone through the momentum, point, and now they're in stability, usually 10 years older. All right. That's the fourth thing that a company goes through. The fifth is legacy. Now, all companies don't reach legacy. Legacy is when a company hits 25 years or older. There's very few companies who have become legacy companies, okay? Very few, all right?
I love this training.
Yes,
Come on.
and then the sixth is scrutiny. Now, scrutiny can happen at any time. It can happen during pre-launch. It can happen during formulation. It can happen during concentration, momentum. Scrutiny is when, someone is looking to sue your company, or the attorney generals are looking to shut you down, or maybe something happened in the company and now, people are bad-mouthing the company and it's all over the internet. That's scrutiny, all right? Typically, if a company can weather the storm through scrutiny, they can become a legacy company. But most companies, when scrutiny hits, it's difficult. It's tough for them to weather that storm. And a lot of that depends on, it goes back to the number one way to evaluate, who is your CEO? Does he have a track record of knowing how to handle this? All right, it's vitally important. All right, so now, I talk to people all the time and I ask them, when do you think is the best time to join a company? All right, again, let me say this. If you've got a group and you've got people that follow you, you've got a huge group, you can join a company anytime and make some money. But if you join doing momentum, if you join doing stability, it's very difficult to make the kind of money that you're looking to make unless a company, gives you some benefits, like slotting you over a group of people, or, like paying you and positioning you. All right. But for the person that doesn't have a group, or maybe you have a small following, you want to get involved doing concentration. All right. Remember I said 92% of the companies don't make it out of formulation. All right. So if they make it out of formulation and concentration, they've done some things right. And if you get involved in concentration, you're in early enough that before momentum's hit, before everybody starts to talk about your company, because let me say this, you can have momentum in your company where now everybody knows about it and everybody's joining without reaching that 50 million a month level, okay? You can start on that level, never maybe get there because maybe the company's a fad, or maybe because the leadership starts to do some things. But you want to make sure you're in position, doing concentration, building your team, so now once the masses know about it, it takes your business to a whole nother level. So the timing at which you join is vitally important. All right. I tell this to people all the time. You got to make sure that when you're talking to people about a business, they haven't heard about it. All right. Or very few have heard about it. Because if they've heard about it, they've already have a perception of what they believe it is. It may not be the truth, but it may be their perception. All right. And if they have a perception, a lot of times you can't change that perception. But if they haven't heard about it, you're the one that's creating that perception by the information you give. All right. So the fourth way to evaluate a company is the timing at which you join. The fifth way to evaluate a company, and guys, this is important, is the systems that they have in place. Now understand this, there's two major systems that have to be in place to build a big business. A unified culture, okay, and a unified system. The culture is, vitally important to the success of the company. The culture is the standards which everybody goes by. The culture, if you've got a culture that, I know some companies that have cultures where nobody wants everybody to come to their meetings. If you're not on my team, you can't come to these meetings, all right? But then there's other companies that has a culture that, all the meetings are going to be the same. They're going to be unified. Everybody's welcome to all meetings. That is the kind of culture you want to be a part of, all right? So unified culture and then unified system. So the system is vitally important. The system stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. But more importantly, the system works when people don't. The system works when people won't. The system works when you sleep. The system works when you're awoke. It works when you're on vacation. And so if you've got a system, a simple system that people can follow that works, and you've unified it, now it's not just with your team, it's with your entire company. Now you've got a chance to win. I remember last company that we were in for 4 years, and we built a major team in. They had a great unified culture in the beginning, and they had a great unified system. All right, and that unified system is what allowed many people to make some serious money. All right, because they had a system of home parties. They had a system of showing the DVD, so you didn't have to learn how to present. They had a system of the PS3, which allowed the 80%ers to hand off to the 15%ers and the 5%ers and let them do the three-way calling for them. So very, very powerful to understand, all right, that the fifth way to evaluate a company is the systems that are in place. Unified culture and a unified system, all right? The sixth way to evaluate a company, and this is critical, who your sponsor is and who your sponsor's sponsor is and who your sponsor's sponsor's sponsor is. All right, I know that was a little confusing, but let me say it again. Who your sponsor is, who your sponsor's sponsor is, and who your sponsor's sponsor's sponsor is.
Pay attention.
Guys, listen to me. I'm going to use myself as an example. My first 3.5 years, 4 years in network marketing made little or no money. Why is that? Well, the people that told me about the business were my next door neighbor, was people who work with me at my job. My sister's best friend told me about a company. I joined with them. Now, every one of them that I joined with during that time did not take network marketing serious. They were looking for people to come in and build it so they could make money. They didn't attend all the meetings. They didn't plug into the calls. They weren't doing personal development. They weren't making any money. So guess what they taught me? How not to make money, right? Now, when I got involved with people who were making money and who could teach me how to make the money, okay, guess what? We made money, all right? Now, if you're a sponsor, I know a lot of times people go, well, the person is not making money, but they were the first person to tell me about this business. I want to be loyal to them and join this business. Well, here's what I say to that. And I had to learn this from a mentor, okay? Here's what I say to that, all right? This is a business. It's nothing personal. It's a business, okay? So if it's a business and you're treating it like a business and you want to get out of it, the type of money you want with a business, let me ask this question. Let's say I introduce you to a business and you were thinking about joining it, right? It looked good to you and you were thinking about joining it, okay? But a week later, Bill Gates introduced you to the same business. Would you be loyal to me and join with me, or would you join with Bill Gates?
Bill.
Bill, exactly, right? Because he would give you a better chance to win, to get to that point that you need to get to. He earns a lot more money than I earn, so he can teach you a lot of things. So that's the key thing, guys. I'm not knocking your yeah, you go with me, son? I know you would. I appreciate that. I'd be mad at you. I say go with Bill. I'll go with you. So we both get paid. But the bottom line is this, guys. So many times people, if you make that decision to get, because you want to be loyal and you get with a friend, make sure before you get with them, ask them who their upline is. I call it senior business partner, and ask them who theirs is. Find your way to the person that is making the money. Become friends with that person so they can mentor, they can coach, they can teach you the things you don't know. All right? Because this information is what's going to help you believe more that you can do it. All right? And so you've got to get that information. You've got to get to that person. When I started doing that, guys, everything just changed. And, there was no, even, at times I had to wait 5-6 months and not join a company because I didn't want to make the person feel bad, but I just couldn't join with them. They had been in a year. They wasn't even making $200 a month. And it was because they wasn't treating it like a business. and I didn't want to set myself up for more failure. All right. So very important who your sponsor is, who your sponsor is, who your sponsor is, because one of them should be someone that's making money. You got to find your way to them and let them mentor, let them coach you in case the person who sponsored you is not taking this serious. All right. So that's 6 ways to evaluate. Here's the 7th and final way. It's the compensation plan. Now, I know most of you have been asking, man, I want to look at the compensation plan first. Here's what I'll tell you. If those other 6 things are not in place, you'll never get to the money anyway. It doesn't matter how much money is on the table, all right? And another thing about compensation plans, why we want to look at it last, all those other things are very, very important, all right? We want to make sure we can make some money, okay? No doubt. But there are a lot of compensation plans out there that are pie in the sky compensation plans. You know, they may have 8 ways to get paid, 10 ways to get paid, right? But 4 or 5 of them, nobody else is getting paid, right? Or 4 or 5 of them are so far out there with numbers that they know very few people will ever hit it. But it looks good, all right? It's like them dangling a fish in front of you to say, come on, come over here, join this company, because look, you can get this, you can get this, you can get this, you can get... But guys, they know nobody's ever going to do it. They know they're just dangling for you to do it, all right? Then there's some comp plans out there that are set up in the beginning to change later. What do I mean? Well, they'll put everything in the comp plan. Oh man, I've never seen 20%. Oh man, I've never seen this, I've never seen that. To attract everybody, right? To get everybody over. But then at some point, they're going to change it. And they're going to lose people. They know that. But they're going to keep the masses of folks, the 80%ers who, you know, have bought into the culture. Wow. And they're going to continue to buy the product. All right? So all of that is okay as long as you're knowledgeable of it. All right? I'm not knocking any of that. Okay? As long as you're knowledgeable of it, it's okay. It's business. Right? But here's the thing about the compensation plan. You should be aware of that there's 3 parts to a compensation plan. There's a front end, there's a middle, and there's a back end. Now, most compensation plans only have one of these. Some compensation plans have 2 of them. Very few, if any, have all 3. All right? Now, they may have them, but they don't pay you very well with all 3. So let me explain that. What's the front end? The front end is when you do something, you get paid. So if you recruit someone, you get a fast start check. If you sign up a customer, you get a check. That's the front end. Most front ends are very soft nowadays. And the reason is because a lot of people used to do front end loading, where if you recruit, you made major money, but you got all this product, and but you made money nowhere else. And attorney generals came down on that, okay? So a lot of companies are soft on the front end. You know, you may make some money, but it's not really high. Some companies have found a middle ground. And so on your front end, at the highest pack that you recruit someone, you may make somewhere between 400, you know, 700 bucks, okay? That's on the high end. But most of them are paying you 150 to 200 bucks on the high end, okay? So that's the first part of a compensation plan, okay? First part, again, is the front end. That's when you do something, you get paid. The second part of a compensation plan is what we call the middle, all right? The middle. Now, the middle is when someone you recruited or someone they recruited do something, you get paid, okay? I'll give an example in a binary, all right? If you have your power leg and you have your pay leg, and you may have recruited 4 or 5 people on your pay leg, but when they go recruit someone, because of the volume that it produces, you're going to get paid. That's called the middle. Now, with binaries, usually with companies that have a binary, the middle is very good. It's usually the best in the industry, that middle part in binaries. All right. Some other companies, unilevels, it may be a little softer. All right. You may not make as much when somebody else does something. Okay. Some companies have found some middle ground. But again, the middle. So you have the front end. When you do something, you get paid. The middle. When someone on your team does something, you get paid. Okay. Now, you have the back end. The back end is residual income. And when this industry first started, everyone that got involved in networking, their whole thing was they wanted residual income. All right. Residual is the leverage you make on a monthly basis when your team, that's who you recruited, who they recruited, your customers and your team's customers, every time they buy product, once a month, usually the 15th of the month or the following month, you make a check. All right. Now, there are some residuals that pay very small, 1%, 2%. All right. There's some residuals pay, 7 levels, 9 levels. Some pay, even more. All right. There's some that have strong residual back end, some don't. But the key with the compensation plan is to look for those 3 areas and see how they pay. All right. You definitely want a good middle, okay, because now it creates leverage for you. All right. You definitely want, a good residual. All right. Me personally, the front end is very important. It's very important for those people who've never done it before, because your goal when you get a new person in is to help them recoup their investment in 30 days or less. When you do that, you just bought you another 30 to 90 days that they'll stay in the business. All right. So that's the 7 ways we evaluate a network marketing opportunity in business. And guys, the thing I'll say to you is, you want to be a network marketing professional. You don't want to be an amateur. Amateurs get excited and they join on emotions. They don't evaluate anything. They just get involved based on the person who told them. And that's okay. All right. Because most of them, they're only in it because they like someone else or they trust someone else. You want to start to earn money in this industry. If you're frustrated because you haven't, if you're frustrated because you've joined 2, 3, 4, 5 companies and you think they've let you down, maybe it's your evaluating process. Try this, look at, evaluating first before you get involved. And so with that, I'm going to turn it back over to my son, whom I'm proud of. Love you, son.
Awesome job, man. Guys, we want to put this video out. My dad is an awesome trainer in the industry, guys. Share this video everywhere. People need to hear it. Guys, he does this. He trains people all the time, but he just never does it online. So I wanted him to, come online because he's a powerful trainer, guys. This is what I say. I say he's a powerful trainer. He's humble. But I like to, my dad is awesome. I know it's my dad. And when you tell people that your dad is awesome, they're like, yeah, that's your dad. But guys, this man has truly been doing this. Him and my mom, they've been doing this for 21 years. 19 years without working a job. You've seen his work. So why can't, if he can do it, you can do it. If my parents can do it, you can do it too for your children. You can be able to travel, hang with your children. I have 3 older sisters, and guys, I'm 21 years old. My parents been doing it for 21 years. So my whole life, this is all I've been around. I've known, all I've seen is entrepreneurship. I've seen that it's possible. So guys, I want to come on here and share this valuable information with you. And I'm proud of my dad. He does this all day, guys. He's helping people. Yet he's proven in the industry, guys. If he wasn't proven, we wouldn't be sharing this information. If he didn't know what he was talking about, he wouldn't be putting this information out there. If he didn't really care for you, he wouldn't be putting this valuable information that people want to charge people to listen to. That people come to people and ask them, they ask them to pay them, just to get this knowledge. So guys, watch these videos. It's free. Watch this video over and over again. It's on Facebook. We're going to have it on YouTube. But guys, I want you to check out my dad's website we put together, teamfaithwalk.com. And you can see how you can partner with my dad or, get connected with him and stay connected. We're going to have free training videos on that website. My dad's going to have it. But guys, we love you. And you have anything to say?
Yeah, I just want to say this. I've been quiet for a while. I've been, a lot of people have been trying to find out what I'm doing. And I will tell you this, since I left my last company back in 2014, I've done a lot of praying, a lot of soul searching. And my thing is I want to just give back. I want to just help people. And it doesn't matter if they get involved with what I'm doing. It really doesn't, because service to many leads to greatness. And if I can serve and help some other people, better their lives and better themselves in this, great opportunity called network marketing, then I'm all for it. And my son has pushed me and finally got me to get on Facebook Live. And so I appreciate him so much. I love you, son.
Because my team, I have young people on my team and young entrepreneurs I know. And I just love hearing his trainings. I want to hear it myself over and over again. So I'm like, Dad, just record it. I'm going to listen to it. I'll listen to it so I can listen to it. But what I realized that if we record it, everybody else can listen to it too. It's other people that are hungry for knowledge like me. So especially for this knowledge in the industry. And guys, that network marketing works. It's proof right here. And I'm sure you've seen proof everywhere else, guys. It works. So just know that there is a better way. You don't have to have a job all your life. There is a better way to do it. And I believe you can do it but you got to learn how to evaluate a company. I believe that.
Don't forget to go get his book, The Light, 7 Biblical Principles for Young Adults.
7 Biblical Principles to Achieving Spiritual Growth for Young Adults.
Spiritual growth for young adults.
But that's, yeah. But guys, y'all can watch this. Can y'all see me?
I can see
Okay.
you.
But guys, y'all can watch this video over and over again. Check out the website. This video will be on the website. We're going to have more trainings. You know, I'm going to have training videos too. But I wanted to, you know, introduce you to my dad. And guys, we love you. And this is a G.O.L.D interview. And what that G.O.L D stands for, my dad came up with it. But it stands for go out and live your dreams. And as he likes to say it is,
Go, go, go. Go, go, go.
God bless y'all.
Go out and live your
Go out and live your dreams.
Have an outstanding day. Hey, Cedric, what's up, young man?
What's up, guys? Take care.